Imagine standing on the edge of the sea as the mist rolls in from the horizon. The sky is quiet, the water calm, but beneath that stillness, something stirs, something powerful, something intelligent. Out of the grey water a fin rises black, tall, unmistakable, and then, a face. Not just any face, but a face looking back at you, not with fear, not with hunger, but with curiosity, with awareness, with something that feels strangely familiar. This is not a fairy tale. This is not science fiction, this is real. This is the story of Luna, the killer whale who wanted to be your friend, and of the man who listened. In the cold waters of Nootka Sound, off the coast of British Columbia, a young orca appeared one day, alone. Most orcas live in pods, close-knit, families that travel together for life, but Luna had somehow become separated from her pod. She was young, just a few years old, and she had wandered into a place she had never been before. People started to notice her, mostly fishermen at first. She followed boats, splashed near docks, and hovered curiously near the shoreline. She did not act like a wild whale. She acted like someone who was looking for company, like someone who had been left behind. Scientists were puzzled. Orcas are social animals, yes, but not like this. Luna did not just tolerate humans, she seemed to seek them out. She played with water hoses, mimicked boat sounds, and would follow people along the pier, sometimes for hours. She was not afraid, she was eager, she was alone. Word spread. The locals gave her a name, Luna. They loved her. Children came to watch her from the shore. Tourists started to visit the area just to catch a glimpse. People laughed as she played, beside boats, tapping them gently or tossing seaweed like toys. But behind all the joy was a question no one could answer. Why was she here, and what did she want? Among those drawn to Luna's story was a man named Mike Parfit. He was not a scientist. He was a writer, a storyteller, a man who came to Nootka Sound out of curiosity and stayed because of something much deeper. The first time he saw Luna, he expected to see a wild animal. What he found was something else entirely. A creature who watched him, who waited for him, who seemed to recognize him. Mike began visiting Luna every day. He took his small boat out and simply sat on the water. Luna would come to him, quietly, patiently. She would swim alongside, looking up at him with one eye just above the surface. She never tried to harm him. She never tried to take food. She just stayed. For hours at a time, floating next to the boat, listening, being over time, a bond formed. Mike did not train her, he did not feed her, he just spoke to her, and somehow she listened. Their connection was unspoken but real. Luna responded to his voice. She would come when she heard his boat. She would wait near the dock for hours if he did not show up. It was as if she had chosen him, as if, in her loneliness, she had found someone who truly saw her, but not everyone saw it that way. The government grew concerned. Marine officials warned that Luna's behavior was unnatural, that she might become dangerous, that she was getting too close to people and boats. They feared she could hurt someone by accident or get hurt herself. And so, they made a decision. Luna had to be moved, captured, relocated. The plan was to capture her using boats and nets, and transport her to a facility where she could be monitored or maybe even reunited with her pod. Mike was devastated. He believed that Luna was not a threat, but a miracle. That her ability to connect with people was a sign of her intelligence, not a problem. He wrote articles, spoke out publicly, pleaded with the government to leave her be, but officials did not listen. The capture attempt began. Boats moved in, helicopters flew overhead. Nets were prepared. Luna disappeared. For days, she was gone. The water was still. The air was quiet. Mike feared the worst. But then, on a foggy morning, as the sun began to rise, she returned, not to the officials. To him. She came straight to his boat, just like always, and surfaced beside him as if nothing had happened. He did not need to say anything. She already knew. Luna had avoided capture. She had made her choice. Mike's bond with Luna grew deeper, and with it, the tension between him and the government intensified. He was told not to engage with her, not to speak to her, not to encourage her presence. But how do you ignore someone who waits for you every morning, who looks at you with the same longing, the same joy, every time you return? Mike continued to visit her, to sit with her, to speak with her softly, to let her be what she had chosen to be, a companion. But time, as it always does, moved forward. Luna's fame spread. More people came to see her, some respectful, others not. Boats crowded around her, engines roared. People reached out to touch her. She became both a wonder and a risk. And then, one morning in March 2006, the thing Mike had feared most happened. A tugboat entered the Sound, its engine churning the water. Luna swam beside it, as she often did. She loved the sound of engines. She often played in their wakes. But this time, she got too close. The propeller struck her. The water turned red. Luna died instantly. The ocean that had once echoed with her joy fell silent. When the news reached Mike, he said nothing at first. He went to the dock, sat at the edge, stared at the sea, and wept. Luna was gone. The town mourned. Flowers were placed at the shoreline. Children cried. People remembered her not as a wild animal, but as a friend, as someone who had made them feel seen, loved, chosen. Mike and his wife Suzanne finished the documentary they had started. They called it The Whale That Wanted to Be Near People. It was not just a film. It was a farewell, a love letter, a promise. The film spread across the world. It was shown in schools, in theaters, in homes. People watched, cried, and remembered. Letters poured in from children, from sailors, from scientists who admitted that Luna had changed how they saw the world. She had become more than just a whale. She had become a voice, a symbol, a soul that refused to be ignored. Over the years, Luna's name became a movement. A mural of her was painted in a school. A foundation was started in her memory. Children learned her story as a lesson in kindness and empathy, in listening to those who cannot speak. Scientists began to study whale behavior more deeply. Laws changed. Captivity policies were questioned. People asked harder questions about the line between human and animal. Luna had opened something in the human heart, something that could not be closed again. And still, Mike returns to that shoreline. That he does not bring a camera anymore. He does not write. He just sits. Sometimes he speaks her name. Just once. Softly. Luna. There is no reply, no splash, no fin. Only the sound of the sea. But in that silence something lives. Something real. Something eternal. Because Luna never truly left. She remains in every wave that crashes gently on the shore, in every moment of connection between a human and a wild creature, in every eye that opens to the possibility that love needs no language. She was not just a whale. She was a reminder that, even in the vastness of the ocean, a single soul can reach across the water and touch another. And if you ever find yourself by the sea, in a moment of quiet, listen closely, because sometimes, when the world grows still enough, you can still hear her, a whisper, a breath, a memory that swims beneath the surface, waiting to be remembered, waiting to be loved again.